today, but I was told he was unavailable. MV Realty has declined our repeated requests for an on-camera interview, but a spokesperson said they operate in full compliance with the law. You can read MV's entire statement and see my previous I-Team reports on the company on our website, whio.com. In the News Center for the I-Team, I'm John Bedell, News Center 7.
The city of Dayton admits it has a problem. There are too many geese around its water treatment facility. All those birds are leaving feces. And during mating season, geese can get very aggressive, even attack facility workers. The city plans to spend more than $40,000 over the next 3 years to deal with this. It will spend some of the money to hire a company to pick up some of the feces. The rest will go to a company which uses dogs to scare and chase the geese away.
Obviously, the dogs are trained to never harm the geese, but the geese don't realize that.
We asked what people should do if they have geese problems on their own property. Wagner said folks should think about making changes to their landscaping and make it less appealing for those geese. And egg prices are starting to drop. New data released by the USDA says a dozen traditional eggs will cost just under $4 a dozen now. An increase in egg production is helping lower the price. WHIO TV Tonight checked Meijer, Kroger, and Walmart. Meijer was selling a dozen grade A large eggs for $3.29. Kroger's price was $3.99, and Walmart was selling the eggs for $2.94. Prices in the Miami Valley are following on average at below the nation's retail value.
And now, your Storm Center 7 forecast with meteorologist Robert Gauthreaux III.
Yeah, Robert, we chatted a little bit earlier about you being up in Troy today, and then the semi got knocked over, most likely from wind. We're concerned about wind and other potential serious weather problems tomorrow, but you have an interesting aspect of what you saw in that scene today.
Yeah, one of the things that tells us that it was most likely wind that helped push this semi over as it was making that turn was something that was really interesting that was pointed out to me by the safety manager of the trucking company. The tire was actually kind of shredded, but not shredded like you might think, where all the air's out of it. But a lot of the tread was taken off. You can see that bottom tire right there, but it was still full of air. And so at least that tells us that most likely what happened was we had that trailer, the back part of the truck, was being blown by the wind, squeezing that tire, and it was trying to hold on as much as it could, and then eventually it did tip over, but the tire still full of air, and we are looking at the risk for some wind tomorrow as well. Now, the convective wind is what we'll see tomorrow, based with a thunderstorm, not so much what we saw today. What we can expect tomorrow are some afternoon thunderstorms. In fact, we'll even see some rain in the morning. We do have that risk for severe weather, which we were talking about, and we actually have a colder weekend coming up, because believe it or not, we broke a heat record today, and it's still pretty warm outside now. Looking outside in Troy, it's quiet, 50 degrees though in Dayton. Winds, not so strong anymore. North-northwest winds around 6 miles per hour, but we could see that pick up a little bit tomorrow with some thunderstorms. Now today, several of us, believe it or not, got into the 70s, 71 in Dayton today, 71 in Springboro, 73 in Oxford, and that shatters the record set back in 1951 for Dayton with a high record of 69 degrees. We actually broke that by 2 degrees, so it was record hot. It was record warmth today. Now, across the plains, that's what we're looking at, that system coming toward us tomorrow. And you can see it's a pretty potent system bringing some severe thunderstorm warnings across much of eastern Oklahoma. Now, this system, bringing a cold front with it, will eventually make its way toward the Midwest. And when will that happen? Well, let's time it out. When can we expect rain tomorrow? Well, first we're going to see some rain in the morning hours. You can see here in the Futurecast, moving overnight, we stay dry, but moving into the morning, here's a look at 7 a.m. You start to see some rain here. Might even hear a rumble of thunder. Now, the rain moves through and it lingers a bit into the morning hours. Here's a look at 10 a.m. But then the main line of storms with the cold front comes through later in the afternoon. We're looking at about between 2 to 6 p.m. And during that time, if we see enough of a break from this earlier rain and certainly enough sunshine, that could prove a little bit hazardous, indicating we could see some more instability, a little bit more chance for some severe weather tomorrow. So here's the line coming through. Now again, the Futurecast is saying about 6, 7 o'clock. Could be a little bit earlier than that. We're looking at about 2 to 6 when this line will come through, and we'll likely see the chance of an isolated severe thunderstorm. Could produce a strong wind gust, kind of like what we saw today, although again, related to a thunderstorm. Not to mention, you can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado across the region. So just keep that in mind. Keep your weather app on you. It'll notify you if you're in a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning or something like that. And as we move into Friday, look, a lot colder. I know we hit the 70s today, but we're back to 34 Friday, low 20s into the weekend, and a little bit milder next week with the chance for some showers returning.
Thank you, Robert. New at 11, veteran actress Raquel Welch passed away today in Los Angeles. She was 82 years old.